Manchester United and Real Madrid played out a 1-1 draw in their pre-season friendly. After being the brighter of the two sides in the opening half, United took a lead into the break after Anthony Martial's individual moment of brilliance allowed Jesse Lingard to tap home from close range. Both sides made big changes at halftime, but while United brought on a host of internationals and big-money talent, including £75 million Romelu Lukaku and £89 million Paul Pogba, Madrid changed to a side full of players from the B team and under-19s. However, Los Blancos were the more aggressive and considered side in the second period and deservedly levelled through Casemiro penalty, after Victor Lindelof had flattened Madrid new boy Theo Hernandez. Casemiro faltered from the spot in the shootout, but was far from the only one as United won 2-1 with 7 players failing to find the net. Here's a look at the winners and losers from the meeting at Levi's Stadium. If Martial had this game to save his United career, then he may just have done precisely that. With Mourinho still keen on Ivan Perisic to the tune of £50 million, potentially, the young Frenchman's place is under threat, having fallen down the pecking order last season. United aren't short of players to play wide, and Perisic would further bolster those options, while Martial equally finds himself as third choice for the centre-forward role he craves. Starting against the European champions, Martial largely flattered to deceive for 44 minutes, a couple of decent moves apart. But on the stroke of half-time the ex-Monaco forward showed that he may still be worth persevering with, as he magnificently sauntered past 3 real defenders, to tee up Jesse Lingard. It was a vital sign that the talent he has remains immense and that, if United can tap into what makes him tick on a consistent basis. He didn't do much during the second half, but that one moment, that one sublime, magnificent moment, showed he does have what it takes to be an important element in their attack in the coming years, provided he believes he can be. His dismal penalty in the shootout, we'll forget. Lucas Vazquez has been a good substitute option for Madrid since arriving from Espanyol, offering pace and width late in games. But with Zidane trialling a 4-4-1-1 formation in Santa Clara, with orthodox wingers and Isco roaming, Vazquez failed to take his opportunity. He made little impact up against Matteo Darmian and was often guilty of picking the wrong option in the final third. Zidane's main options continue to be the midfield diamond used so effectively in the final throes of 2016-17, and the three-pronged BBC attack. Marco Asensio is ahead of him in the pecking order. Zidane wants a replacement for Alvaro Morata, and game time looks set to be limited. Thus when he does play, he simply must make things happen. He failed to do so. The Brazilian has made it clear that he wants to remain at Old Trafford this season. Having spent last term on loan at Granada, making 36 appearances in La Liga as they were relegated, Pereira is back aiming to impress Mourinho. And he's done just that so far in the US, being used in different roles in the tour, being trusted to sit in front of the defense in games against LA Galaxy and Real Salt Lake, before being used in an advanced midfield role in the 2-0 win over City when he entered the fray. Here, his role differed again, being asked to shuttle between Michael Carrick, Marwan Fellaini and the United attack working box to box. He did so astutely, using the ball well and harrying opponents also. The school of thought since his £30 million arrival from Benfica had been that Victor Lindelof will be first choice this season, alongside Eric Bailly. Bailly is a guarantee, the Ivorian having impressed last season, looking very much at home in the United defence. But Lindelof, a player United sought for 18 months before signing him, seems much less secure as we close on the new campaign. Partially that's because Phil Jones, himself poor against Real Salt Lake, was excellent against both Man City and again last night. Largely, it's because Lindelof hasn't impressed. Against City he looked sluggish on the turn, often struggling as off-the-ball runners came through from deep. Against Real, his decision to fly in on Theo Hernandez was a shocking one. The biggest stonewall penalty you'll see in the next 12 months. Again he looked leaden-footed, slow both in body and mind. The Portuguese league is played at a much more leisurely pace than the Premier League, and some players struggle to adapt initially. This game, in scorching heat, was hardly a furious affair. If Lindelof doesn't step it up quickly, he faces a real fight to be starting when the season starts for real. With Danilo having completed his move to Manchester City, Real Madrid are in need of a deputy for Dani Carvajal. And if Castilla right-back Hakimi was helping to use this as an opportunity to offer his case for being that man, then the 18-year-old Moroccan did his chances no harm. The youngster was tidy with his passing, defended astutely, showed good positional awareness and pace on the cover and did well to keep Martial quiet in the second period. He also showed no little attacking intent as a youthful side looked to take the game to United, and while his crossing may have been somewhat wayward, he hit the byline well on a number of occasions.